be a lead guitar player, really. That's what my ambition was. But then I thought, well, there's a million lead guitar players, so I want to stick with electric violin. My musical thing, what made my style was traveling around the world. I lived in Amsterdam, where I played with a Moroccan conga player and a guitarist from Uruguay, and it was this more African Latin type thing going on. I played with all 8-piece black band, played with a horn section and soloed, and you know, it's just, I did all these things to just not be afraid. And you know, like, so what is a violin player doing in a black band? Well, you know, and even the guy looked at me and says, well, we don't play no violin music. And I said, well, neither do I, you know.
Más huevos.
When I was about 16 or 15, I really started to go into Jimi Hendrix. I loved Jimi Hendrix, so I came to the Navy. I was 18 years old, and I met this guy who played Jimi Hendrix style. And I said, oh, I love it. I want to learn to play guitar. So he started to teach me just chords, you know. And when I left the Navy, I went with him to look for the gypsies, because we were listening to those records of Manitas de Plata, and we thought, that's it, that's the maximum, we want to play like that. So we went down, looked for Manitas, we found Manitas, found the gypsies, and started to feel out this music. And then I met this friend. He got me down to the south of Spain, where the gypsies live on this mountainside, all caves, very beautiful. Sounds primitive, but it's not. So he left me his cave for a year, and I got a chance to hang out with the gypsies and get a feel for it. So I said, that's it. I took my guitar and I went to Mexico. I was playing down in Puerto Vallarta at the restaurant, and one night he showed up and said, hey, your boss hired me to play with you.
Yeah.
And I said,
Surprise.
Surprise, what? I said, we stood in the street and said, what? But then I thought, well, that's not bad, let's check it out, you know. And boom, we started playing music. That was the start of our New Age Gypsy Jazz or Gypsy Boogaloo project, however you call it.
Rock and gypsy surfing.
Rock and gypsy surfing dudes. No, not in that time, because in this time we didn't surf. We were cowrie shell hunters, you know.
Body surfers.
Body surfers and hunting for cowrie shells.
I had always been a surfer, though. I've surfed since I was a kid, but I didn't have a surfboard because I was always touring and on the road, going from country to country. But a friend of mine came to visit us with a couple of surfboards, and he didn't leave with those surfboards. I tried it again after 15 years or something, and I surfed every wave like a bicycle. You know, I never forgot it. And then Lobo was sitting there on the beach watching me surf, and he goes, hey, Willie, let me borrow your surfboard. I want to try it. So he started surfing, and I'm saying, hey, let me have my surfboard back. And he said, no, I want to do it again. I said, no, let me, you know, well, this is our first problem here. One surfboard and two people who want to use it.
Because we never have problems.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, it wouldn't be over a woman or anything, it'd be over a surfboard.
it would be over a surfboard.
The initial reason that we started making recordings was because everybody kept coming up on our breaks and saying, do you have a cassette? Do you have a cassette? I want to get a cassette. And I said, well, no, I don't. Why don't you have a cassette? I said, well, okay. So I brought my little 4-track in and recorded us live one night and took it to a studio in Florida. And I think we sold like 5,000 of them that year. Eventually, you know, one of those cassettes via Marduk Sheridan got to Mesa Blue Moon, and then now we had to make more recordings for more people.
Yes, and the more I do the recording, I really want to go on and make more and more innovative music, you know.
Yeah.
Music which is not done yet. Just different and fresh and crazy and however you want to call it. But it's not existing yet, and that's what I want to do.
I like to make an album where people can say that's not the same as the last one.
Yes.
audiences have a great deal to do with our tunes. It's really them inspiring us, you know, when they're really getting into it, you know. We get to be able to take more chances. It's a really great environment for creating because we can experiment with the audience and they help us create.
Because like, you play there for 100 people, you know, you play really hard, you know, bam, you end the song, and one guy of these 100 people is clapping like that. Yeah. Then you know.
We got a dud here.
We got a dud.
We got a dud here. So we'll just kind of like blow that one off, you know?
Even if you think that was cool, that was great, that was the maximum, no way.
And then, you know, we'll play a song and some lady's sobbing, you know, uncontrollable. I think we got her. And that's like, you know, because we make people cry a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
And laugh. How do those two guys get that much sound out of those two boxes? That's what we hear, and also people are touched. They just come out a little different than when they went in. It's kind of like we can only keep what we have by giving it away.